The mid-season football transfer window has, well, it's just exploded. And if you're a fan who really follows this stuff, you know it's not just about the final fee.
No, not at all.
It's about the fine print, the chaos in the boardroom, and the player ambitions driving these huge decisions. Welcome back to the deep dive.
We've got a really rich stack of sources this week. We're seeing everything from major player swaps to these incredible contractual safety nets.
And our mission is, as always, to cut through that chaos for you. We want to get to the why behind all these moves.
Exactly. This isn't just a spending spree. It's crisis management. It's long-term planning. And it's navigating some, frankly, bizarre league rules.
Like trying to solve an injury crisis while you're battling financial fair play.
It's the ultimate high-stakes chess game. And speaking of urgency, I think we have to start with Tottenham's big strategic reinforcement.
The battle for Conor Gallagher.
That's the one.
Okay, let's unpack this. It feels like a really decisive move by Spurs. Our sources are confirming a permanent offer of 40 million euros to Atletico Madrid.
And that financial conviction is the key here. It's a huge fee paid up front.
Right.
That permanent deal it completely blew the competition out of the water. We know Aston Villa was in for him.
But they were only offering a loan deal, weren't they?
A loan with an obligation to buy. And Man United, they were sniffing around, but Tottenham came in ready to commit right now, and that won the day.
But the real insight, the thing that makes this a deep dive, is Gallagher's own motivation. This isn't just about the money for him, is it?
No, not at all. This is a career corrective. His main focus is locking down a spot in that England squad for the 2026 World Cup.
And he wasn't getting that in Madrid.
He was really struggling to win Simeone's trust. He was played out of position, subbed off early. A return to England gives him the visibility he needs to impress Thomas Tuchel.
And from Spurs' perspective, it's a perfect fit. They have this gaping hole after Rodrigo Bentancur's injury.
A 3-month injury, yeah.
They needed a box-to-box, high-pressing midfielder. Gallagher's, he's tailor-made for them.
It's a perfect match of club need and player ambition. But, if Gallagher's move was about solving a crisis with cash, the next one, João Cancelo's return to Barcelona, that's about solving a crisis with regulatory fine print.
Now, this is fascinating. He's 31. He's back at Barca on loan from Al Hilal. But with their financial problems, how did they even manage to register him?
Okay, so this is where you have to know the La Liga rulebook. Hansi Flick needed a replacement after Andreas Christensen got that bad ACL injury.
Out for 4+ months, I remember.
Right. And La Liga has this very specific rule. It allows a club to use a percentage of the injured player's salary to register a new signing.
Wait, so they didn't need to find new cap space. They just repurposed the money they weren't paying Christensen?
Precisely. That little technicality, that loophole, is the only reason Cancelo's wearing a Barca shirt right now. It's a brilliant bit of maneuvering.
Wow. Okay, and to round out these high-stakes moves, we have Timo Werner.
Yeah, a big one.
The 29-year-old striker is leaving Leipzig for a permanent deal with the San Jose Earthquakes in the MLS. A huge switch.
A massive deal for the Earthquakes. It really shows the ambition of the MLS, still attracting that kind of proven European talent.
So we've covered the crisis buys and the regulatory cheats. Let's get into the really intricate stuff, the complex contracts and the youth ambition.
Yeah, we have to start with 𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗏.
Yeah.
This is a real aha moment in contract negotiation.
He's the 19-year-old winger moving from Milan Futuro to Ajax.
Right, on loan with an option to buy.
Just to clarify for everyone listening, what is Milan Futuro exactly?
It's basically AC Milan's U23 reserve team. And he was great for them. 5 goals, 4 assists, a real developing talent.
So what makes this deal so clever? What did Milan sneak into that contract?
2 crucial safety nets. First, a standard sell-on percentage. That's pretty normal.
Okay.
But the masterstroke is the second part, an effective buyback clause.
We see those all the time, but what's different about this one?
The way they structured it. The sources suggest Milan can reacquire him later for a lower capped price than what the open market might demand.
Hold on. So if Ajax turns him into a 50 million euro superstar, Milan could have a clause to buy him back for, what, 25?
Exactly. They're essentially capping their repurchase price right now. They're letting Ajax do all the development work, and they retain the option to get him back without paying that full future premium. It's genius.
It sounds clever, but does that kind of low buyback price maybe disincentivize Ajax? Why would they pour resources into him if they know their profit is capped?
That's the tension, absolutely. Yeah. And that same tension between a club's plan And a player's ambition is what we're seeing with Mathys Tel at Tottenham.
Oh, this is a classic case. He's 20, he's got a few goals, but he is pushing hard for a loan to Paris FC.
And it's for one reason. He wants guaranteed minutes. He thinks it's his only shot at getting a call-up for the France World Cup squad.
But Spurs are just digging their heels in, aren't they?
Adamant. They want him to stay for squad depth. It's that constant tug of war. They're risking alienating a top young player just to cover their bases for the next few months.
It's a tough balancing act. And we also saw some other kind of unusual moves. 𝗪𝗏𝗀 to Union St-Gilloise.
Right, the 23-year-old Swedish international.
Why is that one flagged as unusual?
Because Union's whole strategy is built on finding unknown, undervalued kids and flipping them. Zeneli is already a senior international. He breaks their mold.
So they're prioritizing immediate impact for their title defense over their usual long-term model.
It looks that way. And then you've got the 16-year-old Brazilian, 𝗨𝗶𝗿𝗄, joining NK Custodia on a free from Dinamo Zagreb.
A great example of snapping up talent before they even sign a pro contract.
The youth market is full of these little windows of opportunity.
We've covered the players and the contracts, but some of the biggest moves are happening in the front office, the architects of all this. Let's start with Manchester United.
This is a big one. Michael Carrick is set to be announced as interim manager. His record at Middlesbrough was solid.
But it's the mandate they've given him that's striking.
Exactly. Carrick, who is only 44, is being granted financial authority to buy players if long-term targets become available.
To an interim manager, that's a profound signal.
It's a massive, immediate vote of confidence. Usually an interim is just a caretaker. Giving him a transfer budget shows they trust his vision right now. Our sources say he was just more convincing in interviews than someone like 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗀.
A huge departure from their old style. And he's already bringing in his own people, like Darren Fletcher.
It creates an immediate power structure. But on the flip side of that, you have the chaos at Real Madrid with Xabi Alonso's resignation.
Right, announced their separation, with some reports linking it to losing the Supercopa. It's amazing how quickly things can turn.
It is. And you can contrast that volatility with the stability at Porto. They just extended Francesco Farioli's contract to 2028.
Stability is a strategy, too. And you can't talk about instability without mentioning Fabio Paratici back at Tottenham.
Oh, it's a very complex story. He's their co-sporting director, and he's set to leave after this window, just 4 months after he came back.
Remind us of the context of his return.
He'd previously resigned in April 2023 because of that worldwide 30-month ban from his time at Juventus.
So his return was already controversial.
Very. And his departure so soon just highlights some deep-seated instability in their executive planning.
And finally, a more planned departure. Per Mertesacker is leaving Arsenal's academy.
After 8 years, which is a remarkable run, his legacy is the Strong Young Gunners program, that whole philosophy of better people make better players.
You can see the results of that now.
For sure.
Okay, final section. The urgent deals, the unexpected roadblocks, and those career lifelines. This is where squad needs really clash with reality.
Let's start with AS Roma. They are moving so aggressively to fix their striker crisis.
They got Daniel Malin on a 6-month loan from Villa.
Yep, with the purchase option of around 25 to 30 million. He's seen as that fast, flexible solution Gasperini needs right now.
But they didn't stop there. They also reportedly have an agreement for Robinho Vaz, an 18-year-old from Marseille.
And he wasn't even on anyone's radar. It shows they're just making decisive strikes to get deals done.
That's the speed you need in January, but then you have a deal that just collapses because of pure chaos.
The Bento goalkeeper transfer.
Tell us about it.
Genoa had everything ready. They were signing him on loan from Al-Nassr. Then suddenly the deal's blocked.
Not because of money, right?
No, it was pure squad emergency. Al-Nassr's starting keeper, Nawaf Al-Akidi, got a red card. He's suspended.
Uh-oh.
And their third-choice keeper is injured. They simply couldn't afford to let Bento go.
So a deal collapses because of a single red card. You can't make this stuff up.
That's the fragility of the January window. We're seeing a similar standoff with Josh Sargent.
Toronto FC put in a huge $18 million bid for him.
A massive offer. But the Norwich manager, Philippe Clémence, is publicly insisting he's not for sale.
And how did Sargent react?
He reportedly missed an FA Cup match, telling the club he was focused on the transfer. That's a complete breakdown between the player and the club.
And sometimes it's not about conflict, it's just about emotion. Lucas Paqueta.
Yeah, he's pushing hard to leave West Ham to go back to his boyhood club, Flamengo.
And the key insight here is that he's willing to take a pay cut to make it happen.
A reduced salary. It just shows that powerful emotional pull of going home. It means more to him than maximizing his earnings right now.
That's pretty rare these days. And let's quickly touch on two others. Aston Villa looking at Tammy Abraham,
who's on fire for Besiktas. They need competition for Ollie Watkins.
And of course, Mario Balotelli,
completing the 14th transfer of his career, joining 𝗨𝗵𝗿𝗏 in Dubai. A real lifeline for him after being a free agent.
So if we pull back and look at everything, we've seen this convergence of aggressive spending, like Spurs with Gallagher, and these really intricate contract protections, like Milan's genius move with 𝗫𝗍𝗏.
And I think the biggest insight is how much player ambition is driving the market. We saw Tel and Gallagher pushing for moves for World Cup spots, 𝗍𝗏𝗏 pushing for a move home. It's forcing clubs to react and prioritize their immediate needs.
Which brings up a really important question for you to think about. We've seen a player like 𝗍𝗏𝗏 willing to take less money, and others like Tel and Gallagher pushing for moves just to get a national team slot. When there's so much money involved, how do we weigh loyalty to a club versus the personal ambition of a player? It really seems like the looming World Cup is shifting the balance of power, putting those individual career goals right back in the driver's seat.